Hey everyone, it's Tango Oscar Mike, and it is a chilly Sunday afternoon here in Pennsylvania. It looks like it's going to rain, so I thought I'd shoot a little video. I've been busy, and I've been doing a lot of ham radio projects, and a lot of times I don't film everything, and I'm terrible at that. But I just want to go over a couple of things. I just built this QRP Guys antenna attenuator, and this is a 3D printed case that I put the antenna in. It has a 10 dB, 20 dB, and 30 dB of attenuation. And the reason I built this is I'm going to be doing a fox hunt with my club, and I thought I should have something to help with that. So I'm going to try this. I did purchase this Bionx Micro Fox MF15. Runs on a 9-volt battery. The whole kit with the antenna and everything was $115. But I plan on using this for events like Field Day. I'm doing an event here at the house on June 10th. I'm calling it June-tenna. So we're going to do an antenna build, do some QRP or portable setup judging in the backyard, that type of stuff, and just basically have a good time. But I've already worked on this and programmed this. I got the programming cable with it. I did have some trouble when I was setting this up initially, and it wouldn't recognize the COM port. It recognized the cable COM port, but the software didn't recognize the COM port, and that was because when I plugged the cable in, it came up as COM15, and apparently the software is limited into how many COM ports it recognizes. It doesn't recognize COM15. So I just renumbered the COM port to COM2, and I was able to program this with my club's information. Got my 2-meter radio, and you just flick the switch on top, which I like. You don't have to disconnect the battery. And it works great, and I'm looking forward to playing with this a little bit and using my directional antenna and see how that goes, and give it a shot. So I think this will be a lot of fun with my club. So one of the other things that I've been building some antennas, and this is a case that Ham Radio Dude designed. It's a 3D printed case. The cover's a little tight. And it has room for a 43 mix toroid, the 140, I believe. And this one I actually enlarged just a little bit. I think I increased the size of this by 105%, just because the holes were a little small, and I was the other ones I've made, I had to drill out the holes a little bit, and the toroid was a little tight fitting. So just enlarging it a little bit. So I like the design of the case. And this is 64 feet of wire. This is Sodabeam's wire on here. Use a bongo tie. But I like the design of the antenna. It's really small. I mean, it literally fits in your pocket. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I've been doing that. Another project I did, and maybe I might set this up today. This is a ground stake. And this is from Chuck, KK6. I can't remember Chuck's call sign. I'll have to install it here. But anyhow, this is a design from Chuck's website, from Chuck's YouTube channel, and I'll put that link on there. These are 3D printed rings, and I hot glued them into place so they wouldn't slide. Chuck just pushed his into the ground, and he had a plastic cap he put on the top. I'm not pushing this into the ground around here. It's rock. You have to hammer this in with either a rock or a hammer or something like that. But the reason these are on here, you don't necessarily have to have these on here, but with my mast, it fits. If I unscrew the bottom, and I measured and printed these myself, they fit perfectly in there. So when it's in the mast doesn't wiggle around and just kind of flop around on this stake. Now this stake is really heavy. It's not something that I would want to carry in a backpack. But for car portable use and being able to pound this in the ground without and set up this mast without any guy lines, it was just something that I thought was a good idea that I wanted to have in my as an option in case I needed it. So I do like that. Like I said, it fits well, and if I get a chance, I'll set it up and show you that. The other thing I've been doing, or just did, is I saw Michael's KB9 VBR's video on using screen mesh instead of radial coils, instead of radials. And so I bought this. This is the standard size rule from Home Depot, and it's a pain in the butt to work with. Almost as much of a pain in the butt as radials themselves. If you can see some of the wire already coming off on this where it was cut. This isn't super sharp, but I have poked myself on the finger. You can see this coming undone. It wants to stay coiled because it is metal. It's not too bad, and it takes up less space than radials do. So it's an option. But I did find that I was using a ham stick. I had to retune the ham stick to get it to work compared to using my radials. Now, I don't know if it's what the difference is. I created a little alligator clamp to clamp onto this from my little vertical whip antenna that I have, and it definitely seems like it's working. But I seem to be utilizing the coax a lot in this setup. Using different length coax drastically altered my SWR. So, and I did check this. This is conductive, and so I'm just wondering if if this is really worth it. It's a great idea, but I need to do more testing between this and the radials. Hi, bud. Hi, bud. I was just checking things out. But I played with this a little bit, and I want to play with this some more and compare it to some radials myself. Now, I don't have a great vertical antenna. I'm just using a mono band little whip, so it's really not ideal. It'd be much better with like a 17-foot whip, like Michael uses in his video. So I'm not passing judgment on that just yet, but I will tell you that that's kind of a pain to work with. It would be really nice, and I had this idea, is if you could fold this up like they do the PowerFilm solar panels or other portable solar panels. And I've actually thought about cutting this into squares and then soldering wires between them and then folding it in pieces that way, maybe using some type of backer. I bet you could glue this to thin pieces of poster board or something like that, just to give it some rigidity. You could probably just lay this down and hot glue it and then run wires between each section so you could fold it up nice and neat. And that may be something I want to try doing, because I think if you could do that, that would make this really easy to use in a nice big folded sheet. That way you could use even maybe 2 rolls of this and interconnect them with power pulls and have a couple of folded sheets that you just plug in. So that might be something I might try to do. Come up with an idea on how you can do that with this. But I think it needs to be on some type of backer. So you almost need like some type of thin plastic that you could just, even if you just hot glued it to hold it down. I think I haven't tried soldering to this yet, but I'm sure it would work just fine, like I said. But yeah, I think something like that would be a lot better than this. I could imagine something, maybe 24 inches, maybe cut this in half, and then split it into squares and try to do that. So we'll see. We'll see if I have time and if I come up with a good backing for this to give that a try. I definitely want it to be waterproof, so cardboard isn't a great idea, but some thin plastic sheet, flexible plastic sheet, if I can find something, maybe some backer or something at Home Depot, that might work really well. And You could use any type of wire to connect these. You'd obviously want something flexible. I even thought about maybe some very small ground braid might be ideal, so you could put a couple of connections between each one, and it wouldn't have to be very long, just so you have some separation so you can make the fold. But yeah, that's another project. So yeah, I'm just out here letting Augie run a little bit. Like I said, I think it is going to rain. I think it's like 45 degrees. We've been having some nice warm weather days, and lately it's been getting cold. Yesterday in the rain, our back patio needs power washed every year because it just collects dirt and stuff over the winter just from rainwater. And I power washed that in the rain yesterday just to get it done. It's raining anyhow, I'm going to get wet. So I did that yesterday, and today I'm just out playing around. And I might try playing with some of this stuff. We'll see. Well, let's set this up over here. So if I try to push this into the ground, it goes a little bit. I just broke off one of the rings. Yeah, it's not quite in deep enough. So I've done this the other way, which is where I put my hand over it, spin the cap off, and then you can set this down on top. And as you can see, it fits over that, and it's pretty sturdy, and then I can put it up. But then taking it off becomes difficult, because you have to like pull all the different pieces up and get it back in. So what I want to try to do is give me my cap here. I want to try just extending it and taking the bottom cap off. So let's just do that. Let's make sure I lock it in good. Okay, so now that it's up, now I could lay this down very easily, connect my antenna to the top of it, stand it up, and put it right over top. That's pretty good for easy to set up without any guys. So if I was somewhere where I'm allowed to pound a stake in the ground and do that, like I said, I wouldn't take this backpacking that raw. It's way too heavy. I mean, you could always find a rock to pound that in with, but I would use this around the house just to keep Augie from tripping over the guy lines, which does happen. So yeah, this is pretty good. And then to take it down, slide that off. Oop, got to put my cap on. And I can just stand it up and put my sections down. And I found getting this out of the ground is pretty easy. Just wiggle back and forth a couple times and it comes out. But that still would hold the antenna pretty well if I slipped it back in there. But yeah, so Chuck, KK6USY, thanks for the idea on this. I would have never thought to printing these little 3D collars to hold the mass in place, and it definitely does make a difference. So good on you. Okay, oh, what a mess. So I have the QRP, the Bioenix QRP Fox down over the hill. Let's see if I can hear it without any antenna. No. Wait. Let's just plug this in. You can barely hear it without the this hooked up. The attenuator's off, so it's going to start again here in a second. But it's completely drowning out the SWR or the signal strength. So let's turn this on. Still pretty high. So I got all the attenuation I can use on this turned up. Oh, that seems to work better. With just two elements on there. With just 2 elements on there, it is pointing me in the right direction. So let's see. About an S3, S2, and I'm peaking right about there, which is right. Actually, I'm getting a little bit stronger peak right there, but it's definitely giving me the general direction. Now, because I'm almost at full quieting here. Now I'm pretty close. It's in that tree over there. Now, if I shield it with my body, let's do something. Let's try that. Wait for it to start again. Nah, I'm still getting pretty strong signal even with shielding it with my body and no antenna. So that seems to be putting out, I know it's not putting out that much power. So, oh well, let's go see. I think I might have to build a small directional antenna for this. As you can see, hopefully, I set it right there in the peak of that tree. Maybe a smaller antenna on this. Maybe I can use one of my old antennas for this, like a little stubby or something that might make that a little bit more reasonable. Less power, less basically mask the signal a little bit. I'll have to look and see if I can reduce the power on the transmitter. I don't think you can, but I'll check the programming software and see. But yeah, I think that'll be fun. So, well, we're back inside. It's a little chilly out there. It's starting to drizzle a little bit. So, but you can see some of the stuff I'm working on and getting done making some coffee here. I think I have decided on an antenna that I want. I don't know if I'll get it yet though, because with the options I want, it's going to be about $400. So I'm considering the buddy stick, but with the folding adjustable whip, not the telescoping whip, but they have a folding adjustable whip that has, you can easily adjust and slide it up and down to fine tune instead of moving the taps on the coil, which I think is a good option. So that's what I think I'm going to do, but that would be, I think it is right around $400. But I like the idea of that and using one radio and using it as a dipole instead of using some of the other ones. I like that it's but it's elevated on the tripod instead of being on the ground or closer to the ground like the Wolf River coil. And I had a Wolf River coil before, like I said, and I didn't care for it, but I don't think I knew as much as I do now, so I think that was part of it. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I got to check the software and see if I can't tune that antenna, the little Fox transmitter, maybe reduce the power, because I think that would make a difference, because it's, even without the antenna, it's blasting out on there. So, I mean, it would be good if you were doing a long distance fox hunt, but for just right here in the backyard, I may have to make some adjustments. If I can't reduce the power on it, maybe I can wrap it in aluminum foil or something to attenuate the signal down. So there's a couple of things that I might be able to do. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. Gonna have some coffee, warm up, play with Augie a little bit, and probably edit this video. Hey, this is Tango Oscar Mike saying 73. Take care.
Tango Oscar Mike.